StadiumDB.com presents Serie A TIM Stadiums of the 2022-23 season. Ciao! This time we have for you an overview of the Serie A Stadiums, which will start its new campaign on August the 13th. The domestic title will be defended by AC Milan, who has won their Scudetto after 11 long years. The home venue of the Rossoneri, San Siro, is just one of the 18 arenas featured on our list. Before we begin, we'd like to ask you to support the channel by liking the video and leaving a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so you get a notification every time we post a new video. And now let's dive into the world of Calcio and check out at which Italian stadiums top-tier football is being played. 18th place, Stadio Alberto Picco, capacity 11,466, Spezia Calcio. Our stadium tour of Italy begins with a picturesque facility in Liguria. The arena, located right on the Mediterranean coast, was named after Alberto Picco, the first goal scorer in the club's colours, who died during the First World War. The capacity of the venue has varied over the years. No surprise there. As of 2019, the arena can proudly be titled as a centenarian. The most recent refurbishment took place here in the summer of 2021, meaning Curva Piscina now has a capacity of 3,176 seats, divided into two sections, one of which is dedicated to the visitors. 17th place, U-Power Stadium, capacity 16,000, AC Monza. For sports fans, Monza may until now have been associated primarily with the legendary Formula One circuit and the football club only in second place. However, the joint initiative of Silvio Berlusconi and Adriano Galliani has borne fruit, with the local club ready to make its first ever Serie A appearance during the 2022-23 season. Stadio Brianteo's defining features are the distinctive pylons located on both sides of the main stand. The eastern part of the auditorium was closed for a long time due to its poor technical condition. However, the club's authorities make hay while the sun shines and are planning further investments. According to the plans, the facility is expected to accommodate 16,000 people on the day of the league start, with a target of as many as 22,000 seats. 16th place, Stadio Giovanni Zini, capacity 16,003, US Cremonese. The venue of another Serie A's newcomers, just like the stadium in La Spezia, boasts over a century of history. In fact, Cremonese's facility is only a month older than Stadio Alberto Picco. This is not the end of the comparisons between the two stadiums. The arena is named after Giovanni Zini, the team's former goalkeeper, also killed during the Great War. In 1977, new stands were built here on the north and east sides, which, after later extensions, exist to this day. In the mid-1980s, the south stand for the die-hard fans and the corners were built. Between 2017 and 2018, the stands on the east and south sides were covered, and in 2019 the last standing places were removed. 15th place, Stadio Carlo Castellani, capacity 16,284, Empoli FC. Is this another Italian stadium with a patron in its name? Well, you made no mistake. Italy has undoubtedly become fond of naming venues after its former footballers who lost life in tragic circumstances. One of Empoli's all-time top scorers, Carlo Castellani, died in a German concentration camp during World War II. The stadium in Tuscany consists of two main stands and two behind the goals. The south one, known as Curva Sud, has recently been renovated, but there are still plans to further expand the facility. In 2015, Empoli presented a project to rebuild the stadium to a capacity of 20,000, but it still remains in the planning stages. 14th place. Gewiss Stadium, capacity 19,768, Atalanta BC. The stadium was built in 1928, receiving the name of the fascist hero Mario Brumana. At the time, the facility consisted of 2 stands with brick facilities and elegant facades, still preserved until today. After the fall of fascism, the name was changed to Stadio Atleti Azzurri d'Italia, but ironically, it was the athletics track that was removed in the course of the years. Atalanta's success story in Serie A and in European Cups made the city of Bergamo think seriously about expansion. The renovation of the stadium started with the reconstruction of Curva Nord Pisani. The second stage was the modernization of the East Stand. Last in line is Curva Sud, which is due to be completed in 2024. 13th place. Mapei Stadium, capacity 21,525. US Sassuolo. The stadium in Reggio Emilia is the first ever private football venue built in Italy. The decision for the investment was made following Reggiana's promotion to Serie A. Ultimately, the club went bankrupt and the facility was auctioned off. With the city lacking interest in the stadium's fate, the arena was bought by Mapei, the owner of US Sassuolo. Mapei Stadium boasts a capacity of 29,380 seats, but it has been limited for security reasons. In 2016, the Women's Champions League final was held here, and in 2020-2021 respectively, Italian Super Cup and Coppa Italia finals. In the past, in addition to Reggiana and Sassuolo, the venue has played host to the Serie A sides, Carpi and Atalanta. 12th place. Dacia Arena, capacity 25,144, Udinese Calcio. A modern stadium in Italy? It can't be true. Compared to other distinguished arenas from the Apennine Peninsula, the venue in Udine is a real gem. Plans for a major redevelopment of Stadio Friuli were already in the making in the early 21st century, when the Italians were dreaming of hosting the European Championship. However, the country's candidature was not recognized by UEFA. Udinese's owner decided to take matters into his own hands, and as a result, the first construction work started here as early as June 2013. After several phases, the venue received its final form in early January 2016. What makes it stand out from other modern arenas are the 10,000 panels that make up the diamond facade, which shimmers depending on the time of day or the lighting. Hence the stadium's nickname, Il Diamante. 11th place. Stadio Olimpico Grande Torino, capacity 28,177, Torino FC. There is a long and eventful history behind the venue of the 7-time Italian champions. The stadium's name refers to the legendary Torino team that died in a plane crash in 1949. From its opening until the end of the Second World War, the arena was infamously known as Stadio Municipale Benito Mussolini, and from 2005 to 2016 as Stadio Olimpico, which hosted the ceremonies at the Torino Olympic Games. Torino's local rival, Juventus, also played here between 1933 and 1990, and from 2006 to 2011. In its best days, the stadium could accommodate more than 60,000 people in the stands. In the past, it hosted World Cup and European Championship games as well as UEFA Cup finals. 10th place, Stadio Arecchi, capacity 29,740, US Salernitana. The Arecchi is really something else. Even those who can't stand football would enjoy themselves here. These are the words of Italian journalist Maurizio Compagnoni. Nothing to add. The supporters from Salerno are undoubtedly among the country's best. Opened in 1990, the venue is definitely not one of the old-timers when it comes to Italian football arenas. It owes its name to Prince Arekis II and is therefore often referred to as the Prince of Stadiums. Although a total of 37,180 seats have been installed at the arena, not all of them are homologated. 9th place, Stadio Mercantonio Bentegodi, capacity 31,045, Hellas Verona FC. Opened as a state-of-the-art and one of Italy's largest venues in 1963. The stadium seemed too big for a local team that played most of the time in Serie B. Today, there are nearly 40,000 seats at the facility, but more than 9,000 of them are not approved for use, which is why the stadium is ranked relatively low on our list. During the renovation carried out on the occasion of the 1990 World Cup, an extra story and roof were created. Visibility and public transport links were improved and an urban motorway was built to connect the city center with the stadium. In 2014, the venue briefly hosted as many as 3 local teams. In addition to Hellas, it was Chievo as well as Virtus Verona. Once again, we would like to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and hit thumbs up. Remember to click the bell button as well. By doing so, you won't miss any of the future content and will help our channel grow. 8th place, Stadio Via del Mare, capacity 31,533, US Lecce. The initial capacity was 16,000 spectators, then 20,500, to reach as high as 55,000 before the 1990 World Cup, making it the 6th stadium in Italy in terms of capacity at the time. The seating was then reduced to 40,670, a figure that remains today. Unfortunately, due to the homologation, only just over 30,000 fans will be able to attend Lecce's matches in Serie A. Interestingly, Pope John Paul II, who is still remembered in Puglia, spoke at the stadium in 1994. The name of Karol Wojtyła is borne, for example, by the nearby airport in Bari. 7th place, Stadio Luigi Ferraris, capacity 33,205, UC Sampdoria. The first stands at this venue held around 25,000 spectators and opened in 1911, making the venue the oldest still in existence in Italy. The stadium is shared by 2 Genoese clubs, Sampdoria and Genoa. A posthumously awarded medal for bravery for Luigi Ferraris, a Genoa captain killed during World War I and the current patron of the venue, was buried at the North Stand. Thanks to the modern infrastructure, the World Cup match in 1934 was played here, but the spectator record was set much later. In 1982, the venue's horse derby was watched by as many as 57,815 spectators. The stadium was completely rebuilt stand by stand between 1987 and 1989 to accommodate the next World Cup in 1990. 6th place, Stadio Renato Dall'Ara, capacity 36,462, Bologna FC. The venue was expanded and modernized for the 1990 World Cup, which was already the second event of its kind played in this arena after the tournament in 1934. The hallmark of the venue is above all the famous Marathon Tower, which is sure to remain an integral part of the stadium even in the event of another redevelopment. On November 17, 1993, the World Cup qualifying match between San Marino and England took place here. San Marino's Davide Gualtieri scored after just 8 seconds of play, taking his side into the lead. Gualtieri's strike was, until 2016, the fastest goal ever scored in the history of international matches. 5th place, Allianz Stadium, capacity 41,507, Juventus FC. This is one of the few examples when a large stadium is being torn down after only 20 years in operation, just to be replaced by a venue nearly twice smaller. But since Stadio delle Alpi was full only in 1/3, and for all its existence remained very unpopular, Juventus started applying for a new ground only a decade after the Alpine Stadium was opened ahead of the 1990 World Cup. It all ended with a happy end in 2011, when the Bianconeri played at Juventus Stadium for the first time. Since July 1st, 2017, it has also been known by its commercial name Allianz Stadium. It is considered one of the most modern venues in the world, one of the architectural symbols of modern Turin, and one of the city's main tourist attractions. The club's popularity and the number of spectators in the stands skyrocketed even more following Cristiano Ronaldo's transfer to the Piedmontese capital in 2018. Remarkably, Juventus lost only 3 of their first 100 league games at the venue. In its relatively short history, the stadium has hosted the Europa League final in 2014, the Nations League final in 2021, and Women's Champions League final a year later. 4th place, Stadio Artemio Franchi, capacity 43,147, ACF Fiorentina. The stadium fits in perfectly with the architecture of the city of Florence, and although its history is definitely not equal to other more famous buildings, as a football venue, it serves as a true monument. Like Stadio Renato Dall'Ara in Bologna, the Artemio Franchi is mainly known for its 70-meter marathon tower. The stadium underwent renovations for the 1990 World Cup, which included the removal of the running track and an increase in seating capacity. During the tournament itself, it hosted 3 Group A matches and the quarter-final clash between Diego Maradona's Argentina and Yugoslavia. Worth almost 200 million euros, the redevelopment of the stadium and its surroundings is scheduled to begin in autumn 2023 and be completed in 2026, just in time for Fiorentina's centenary. However, as it is common in Italy, you just never know what to expect. 3rd place, Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, capacity 54,726, SSC Napoli. Although the Partenopei venue made it into our top 3, it cannot be considered the 3rd largest in Italy. Bigger than the facility from the Campania capital is Stadio San Nicola in Bari, built specifically for the 1990 World Cup. Initially called the Stadium of the Sun, the venue was soon renamed to Stadio San Paolo, before a proposal was made in the late 20th century to change the patron to Diego Maradona, due to the footballer's unique relationship with Napoli. Following the Argentine's death in 2020, the long-awaited name change was finalized. The venue hosted matches during Euro 1980 and the 1990 World Cup, before which it was significantly rebuilt. Before the latter event, it received the massive roof that exists today and additional sectors on the crown of the facility. 2nd place, Stadio Olimpico, capacity 70,634, AS Roma and SS Lazio. The 2nd largest stadium on the peninsula is located in the Foro Italico Sports Complex, north of the city center. The venue is owned by the Italian National Olympic Committee and, in addition to Serie A matches, is also used for international games, Stadio Olimpico is also the regular host of the Coppa Italia final. The facility was transformed ahead of the 1990 World Cup, including the installation of a roof, and hosted the final, in which Germany beat Argentina 1-0. Both the opening and closing ceremonies of the 1960 Olympic Games, 4 European Cup finals, 2 European Championship finals and the 1987 World Athletics Championship were also held here. Although the 70,000 capacity is definitely impressive, with Roma and Lazio fans regularly filling the venue during the capital's derby or more important matches in Europe, it was not at a football match that the highest attendance in the stadium's history was recorded. Claudio Baglioni's concert in 1998 attracted over 100,000 spectators to the Olimpico. First place, Stadio San Siro, capacity 75,817, AC Milan and Inter Milan. Although today the monumental construction is very impressive, San Siro wasn't always huge. In 1926 it could accommodate just about 10,000 people. That changed in 1939, when redevelopment increased the capacity to 55,000. In the mid-1950s, the venue entered the elite group of 100,000 seaters and remained there for another 30 years. It was not until the removal of standing places that the capacity of the stadium was reduced to 85,000 in 1989. The 1989 redevelopment was also the last major one, done due to the World Cup in 1990. 11 spiral staircases were mounted, 4 of which at the same time became support for the roof. The venue is covered thanks to huge red trusses overhanging the seats. In its history, Stadio Giuseppe Meazza was the setting of many great games, starting with the derby of Milano and ending with prestigious international matches of Azzurri, Champions League finals and World Cups. Its fame seems everlasting, as in recent decades it is consistently among 10 European venues with the largest club attendances. Despite the alarms about the potential demolition of San Siro and either Inter or Milan moving to a new stadium, for the time being there are no signs that things are about to change in this regard. This was the final venue in our review of Serie A TIM stadiums for the 2022-23 season. Which of the featured arenas do you like the most? Be sure to let us know about it in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel too. See you in the upcoming videos. A presto!